What if I told you that you could spend 2 days at Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure with unlimited food, unlimited drink, and little to no wait times for the same price as a normal 2-day park-to-park ticket? In this week's video, I'm going to give you an inside look at what it's like to attend an Orlando Informer Meetup and explore the parks like a VIP. Hello everyone and welcome back to Carried Away Travels. If this is your first time here, I'm Carrie and I share helpful travel tips, itineraries, gear recommendations, and more so you can always have the perfect trip. If that sounds like the kind of info you want more of in your feed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, so I attended my very first Orlando Informer Meetup last November, and it was during the holiday season, so it was absolutely gorgeous with all of the Christmas decorations, but the real magic was the lack of crowds. Today, I want to break down exactly what it's like, who it's best for, and whether it's actually worth the hype. So what exactly is an Orlando Informer Meetup? Well, this is a semi-exclusive event that's held several times throughout the year at Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure in Orlando, Florida. It's an evening event that happens on Friday and Saturday night, and it includes unlimited food and drinks. Like, I'm talking all the butterbeer you could possibly drink, unlimited turkey legs from whatever stand, food at any restaurant that's open during the event. You just walk in, you grab it, you eat what you want, and you can leave. It's absolutely amazing. And since it's semi-exclusive, like, you can only attend this event if you have a ticket, and they only sell a certain number of tickets to keep crowds low. It really does feel like you're exploring the park like a VIP because the lines are so short. It really feels like you have the park to yourself at times. It is absolutely amazing. And because it happens in the evening, there's no hot Orlando sun burning down on you all day while you stand in lines. You're just enjoying all that cool air at night while you hop from ride to restaurant, and repeat. So here's how the schedule works, because it is a little bit different. On these specific days, they actually shut down the park to normal guests early to give Orlando Informer guests exclusive access to the parks. It's absolutely fantastic. But that doesn't happen right away. Starting at 3 p.m., OI Meetup attendees can start arriving at the park area, but you don't actually get to access the parks till 5 p.m. Between 3 and 5, you can go to the arrival area where you're going to get checked in. They have maps to give you for the night. They'll break down what shows are happening for you. Like, they have a bunch of check-in people that are super helpful, and that really only takes like 15 minutes even when the line is super long. Like, they have so many people on staff to make sure this keeps moving. And then they have exclusive arrival bites to enjoy. They have this whole room that's filled with food, and it is so good. They had pinwheels and mini beef Wellingtons. They had Christmas cookies and a hot dog cart and a taco bar and all sorts of really, really good stuff. I made a point to try everything, but it actually took me 2 days because there was so much of it. However, because the unlimited food doesn't start till a little later, which I'll talk about in a second, I did kind of want to fill up here so that I was fueled up and ready to go for the first few hours of the event. And then when 5 o'clock rolled around, I was actually able to access the parks, and they even streamlined that because they have a special entrance open just for OI Meetup guests. So the crowds were already pretty low. At 5 o'clock, not a whole lot of people are coming in anyways, but they had a special gate where I could scan my ticket and then just walk right on into the parks. So that started at 5 p.m. and around 5 p.m., theme parks tend to be kind of lower in crowds anyways because a lot of people with kids have already left. When I walked in, there were still decent crowds, but instead of trying to hop on rides right away, I just attended a couple shows. I watched the Christmas parade. I kind of filled my time with things that didn't require waits until the normal ticket holders were required to leave. Now, on Friday night, that was at 8 p.m. and on Saturday night, it was at 9 p.m. So I did have to share that for a little bit, but it did not affect my enjoyment or how much I was able to do because the parks stay open till 12:30 a.m. on Friday night and 1:30 a.m. on Saturday night just for the Orlando Informer attendees. And when I tell you I was able to do so much in just that short time period, like, you have no idea. I was able to fit an entire day's worth of normal theme park activity into just a few hours there because there were no lines. So to kind of break that down for you, there were literally periods where I had a pathway entirely to myself. Like I was looking around and I was like, there's no one here. I had Diagon Alley completely to myself more than once. Like the Harry Potter worlds are normally packed. I had them to myself. It was so quiet and actually magical. It was amazing. And because there are just so few of these tickets sold, there's room to spread out. You're not bumping into people, and the lines are pretty much non-existent. Like Velocicoaster is notorious for having a long line. I hopped onto that 2 or 3 times in a row without a wait. The only time I had to wait was someone got sick on the ride, and so they had to close it down for a little bit to clean up because they ate too much of the free food. The only other time I had to wait for a ride was the Hagrid's Magical Motorbike ride, which is very, very popular, and that is also notorious for having like an hours long wait. And I waited about 35 minutes for that, and I will say it was still 100% worth it, but that was almost like a shock. It was like, whoa, what's happening? What do you mean I have to wait? And that's because that was just so popular and they just had so many of the attendees in that place at once. But for pretty much everything else, it was just walk right on and got on the next car. Sometimes there was only like 3 people on the ride and they were still running it. I got to go to the front, sit in the front of these popular rides like the Hulk coaster without waiting, just because there was no one else there, and they kept it going, and it was absolutely amazing. So because I was able to hop onto all of these rides so fast, on Friday night, I did everything I wanted to do in Universal Studios by about 10:30 p.m. And I came in at 5. I hit the Jason Bourne show. I watched the show over the water. I watched the Christmas parade. And after that, I grabbed food, and then I started hopping around the park to try all the different rides. I stopped for a bunch of food. In between all of that, I was still done with the park by 10:30. So between 8 and 10:30, I did everything I wanted to do in Universal Studios. I skipped, I think, Jimmy Fallon, the Simpsons rides, and the Fast and Furious because they just didn't seem worth it to me, but I did everything else. And then I took the Hogwarts train over to Islands of Adventure. I didn't have to wait. I hopped on the first train that was there, went straight over to Islands of Adventure, and I had done like 90% of the park on that side by the time they closed at 12:30. So it was very, very easy for me to finish up everything I wanted to do in Islands of Adventure on Saturday night. And I do want to clarify, like, I took my time in Universal Studios. Like, I was strolling, I was enjoying the lights. Everything is so much faster when there's no line. And so on Saturday night, I did everything else I wanted to do in Islands of Adventure. And then I went back to Universal Studios and I rode things again and hit some of the restaurants that I hadn't been able to get on Friday night. Like, I did it all in 2 nights without feeling like I had to run around or like I was gonna miss out on something that I wanted to do. As I'm sure you can imagine, I was absolutely exhausted. I think I ended up walking about 8 miles both days, but it was so worth it. I would much rather have spent 2 nights walking continuously than standing in line waiting for like 3 minutes of excitement every hour. Like, this was absolutely perfect. And honestly, I think this has ruined me for like doing theme parks the normal way. Like, I don't know how I can go back to that. I do want to harp on the food a little bit more as well. So for the event, just about every restaurant in the park is open, and some of them have limited menus. Like, they might not offer everything they do during the day, but everything they are offering is fantastic. Like I said, I tried to hit every single restaurant. I do think I missed a couple, specifically one serving seafood because I can't have that, but I hit probably 90% of the restaurants they had open to try what they had, whether it's just a dessert at the very least or their main thing, but everything was so fresh and so quality. Like, normally theme park food is okay at best. I was literally wanting more of so much of this. The turkey leg I got was the juiciest theme park turkey leg I've ever had. Normally those things are like $20 and you get them and they're kind of dry because it's been sitting there for like 2 hours. It was so good. The Mojo pork bowls at La Bamba Cafe blew my mind. They were amazing, and that was pretty much the only thing they had on the menu was the bowls. But then they also had these amazing little desserts that were absolutely fantastic. Like I mentioned, you get unlimited butterbeer. So I tried hot, normal, and frozen, and then I went ahead and tried all the other Harry Potter drinks because why not? They were free. There was just so much good food, and I was shocked at how much better the quality was because they were making it so fresh in these small batches just for the people here. It was amazing. There were literally only two places that I didn't like. I got some Alfredo at the like Fantastic Four Cafe, and it was flavorless. I was really disappointed because the quality had been so good. And then I got these, I believe they're satays from this little trolley cart near the King's Cross station, and it was right at the end of Saturday night. It just was not good to me. But that was two things out of literally like 35 that I tried. So that's actually insane. And the Jurassic Terrace, then in the Jurassic Park world, oh my goodness. I have had that food before. I have eaten there before. You get a plate and it's like $20. I tried every single thing they had, devoured it. It was so good. It was so much better than the normal park day. Everything was amazing, and I really wanted to go back, but I did not have the room in my stomach. And besides the quality, the fact that there was no line or wait to get food, sometimes you'll stop to get food and you know that's gonna be like a 30 to 45-minute thing because you have to wait in this long line. There were no lines. I just walked up to the front, told them what I wanted, or grabbed it off the counter, depending on how they were serving it. And most times I was out within 5 to 10 minutes. And just to explain the food schedule real quick, the unlimited food doesn't open up until most of the normal ticket holders are gone, just for like quality and crowd control. So starting at 7 p.m. on Friday and 8 p.m. on Saturday, they have a couple restaurants open for the free food for the Orlando Meetup. Yes. And then everything else opens up at 8 p.m. on Friday and 9 p.m. on Saturday when they officially close the park to normal ticket holders. So just keep that in mind as you're planning. Something else I want to emphasize is just how the atmosphere here on a quiet night is just so amazing. Like I mentioned, there were a few times where it literally felt like I had the park to myself. Like there was no one else in sight, which could have been creepy, but like they have it all lit up. Like it's got this really nice glow, and I went when all the Christmas lights were up. So it was so beautiful. They actually had some places where they had like a DJ playing, and so people were just like dancing in the streets under all these holiday lights. Other places it was just really, really quiet, and there's all the lights reflecting across the lakes. Like there were these moments that were really just extra magical, and I love the ambiance of the quieter evenings with the low crowds. And again, it was cooler weather. I went in November, so it was going to be cooler anyway. But like, what I hate about theme parks is standing in line, sweating, and being hungry. And this literally took all of that out of the equation. It was just such a relaxing experience. Obviously, I thought this event was absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to go back and do it again, but I would say this isn't for everyone. I do think this is ideal for like first timers. I mean, you know, there's something to be said about experiencing the parks the normal way, but like if you really want to get your money's worth and you want to ride everything, I think this is absolutely awesome. This also would make like such a great couples date night thing, or with friend groups is so fun. Like I think there's a lot of different groups that would enjoy this. As a solo traveler, it's great as well. But I would not recommend this for families with small children because the event goes to like 12:30, 1:30 in the morning. This isn't going to be great if you have little kids that need to be in bed, or if you're the kind of person that wants to be in bed by like 9, 10 o'clock. You're probably not going to have as much fun with this if you're feeling draggy right in the middle of it. Now, at the beginning of the video, I told you that you could attend this event for pretty much the same price as a normal 2-day park to park ticket. And I do want to speak to that real quick because I honestly feel like I saved about $400 on the experience I got versus what I would have had to pay to have that during the normal day. And here's why. So for the Orlando Informer Meetup, I paid $432 for a 2-night access. You do get a little bit of a discount for buying both nights. I think one night is closer to $300 each. So $432 for those exact same days. If I'd gone during the day, it would have been $406 for a 2-day park to park pass to Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. That ticket does not include unlimited food and drink. So you think, you plan to buy maybe 2 meals in the park. Well, that's like $40 right there. You're paying like $20 a meal. So that's 40 per day. So that's probably like $80. And then for not having to buy a front of the line pass, like there were no lines. Like I got a front of the line experience for free the same days, those were like $300. Obviously, those rates change based off demand, but the days I was going, I believe they were $150 per day for skip the line passes. That's crazy. So I literally got like an $800 experience for 435 bucks. Like that was amazing and so worth going at night. So this is an event I would absolutely do again. I hope more parks adopt this style. This was fantastic. And if this sounds interesting to you at all, I would highly recommend you try it because I think you are going to love it. If you want to experience Universal Studios with less wait times, more rides, better food, like this is 100% the way to go. All right, that is all from me for today. Thank you so much for stopping by to watch this video. I hope it was helpful and I really hope that you're going to try this out for yourself. It is amazing and I think you're just absolutely going to love it. If there is anything else you have questions on, please feel free to drop those down in the comment section below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And of course, if you have comments, I love to hear from you guys. If you've experienced this before, I would love to hear about your experience. So don't be shy, just feel free to leave those down below as well. If you want to read a little bit more about this, I have a full written blog post, as always, on my Substack and my website. I'll have links to both of those in the description. Last but not least, if you are not yet subscribed to Carried Away Travels, please hit that subscribe button before you go and turn on alerts. I would love to have you join the community here. Thank you once again for stopping by, and I wish you many happy travels.